Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Puzzle Chambers. So, seems like we've had everything revealed. The main protagonist we were following this whole time is an AI. Even in that revolution, we're still getting forced to do puzzles on the way out. And we still have this terrible noise filter over the screen. The puzzles have gotten ridiculously large and just not really to a level where I appreciate them being ridiculously large. This is the first time in a while we've had extra pieces. Noticeably here there's 4 extra pieces that are going to be used. But really I've run out of patience, and taking long breaks in between each recording is not refilling my patience with these puzzles. Inherently, most puzzle games have a gameplay mechanic that would work much better if it was a secondary or even a third gameplay mechanic. Sometimes a puzzle game like this, you might want to see this puzzle 2, maybe 3 times throughout the entirety of a different kind of game. Hidden object games in particular have a lot of that, where the main game mechanic is just finding hidden objects or reading the story, and then every now and then you'll have a locked door and you'll have to solve one kind of puzzle, and then you'll usually have multiple different types of puzzles. But as a standalone form of entertainment, I just don't see it here in this. We've got very large numbers and ways to get to very large numbers, but there are certain things you just would not be able to reach. You'd have to take one of these over here to then play with this or this. I'll just stick that there. And then have that. And then we would need a +2 which of those that would be very difficult to engage with. We need a +2 like that, but then we would have to come off the board and push another plus, and I don't think that works like that. It would have to be over here. So it'd have to be this one or this one. Yeah, already you can see how this is just going to be a huge mess. The +6s don't, I think, change anything much more in a different direction. We would need something like this. And that can get you a +8, and that can get you a +8 that way. And I would imagine similar situation here. You want something like that. You want something like that. And then we want a blue like that. So we could move that around there and put that there. And I can get half of it. And honestly, we have enough pieces at that point. If we could just find a way so that the pieces didn't interfere with each other, we could eliminate a real need to go any further. How many do we have wrong? Quite a bit here at the current layout. And the limitation is going to come down to a few things, I suppose. The way this is built. It's going to come down to, can we get them blue? And can we get the numbers high? And can we get things that would interconnect? So that isn't particularly terrible there. But that touching that probably is terrible. Yeah. I imagine there's just a lot of fiddling that would have to be done here. A lot of fiddling. It does make a decent amount of sense to have that like that and then have like that, but you can never have two overlaps because we just don't have two receivers. It would potentially make more sense to be that. We could move that one over there, that one over there. Why are we getting only to a 3? Because that won't work, will it? We cannot come from the top with the points we have unless we used something like this. If we use something like that, that's a +6, so that's definitely not going to play out and work, which does actually make the puzzles more likely to figure out, a little bit easier to figure out. But we can't play that one. We can't really play any of them. We've got to come in from this side, or we would have to come in from this side and then cheat it in some way so that you get a 5 here and a 3 here, which there is a possibility in that. We do have extra pieces. So that would get me to a 4 when I want to really be a 3, which means that would not be necessary. And then this would get me to a 4, which I suppose if I could put one more thing here, that would work. But then it crosses over the line into this. Meanwhile, that's a 3. So I've missed some of the solution here. You can't play this. You can't play this. Not as is. it might be a case that you do need to maybe move some things around. But why bother with it? Yeah. I feel like I've given it a decent 10 minutes here. Let's start with the partial solutions. And then that will help me quite a bit. I also know from doing that little bit of work where we're going with the rest of this. It's either going to be a case of this, which it has to be that one because there aren't any that have cutouts on one side and the other side, and I don't think the game is going to introduce pieces with cutouts on one side and then another side. Well, they do have one on one side and one on the other side, but they're always in parallel to each other. They're not at right angles to each other. So that and that and then that and anything could be that, so let's not mess with that one yet. Now something's weird here. This piece, I don't feel like I put that piece there. I feel like that was part of the hint. And that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let's ignore that for a moment, though, and let's just work on the rest of it. Blue pretty much has to be there, which means that blue has to pretty much be there, which means that has to be there. We can take our pick on that one. And I think this may just be the trick. The trick is you're going to do this instead to get to a 4, and then you're going to do this, but that's not a 4 alone. You're going to do this, then you're going to do this. Yeah, and it's just breaking from patterns, and weirdly that leaves us with only one extra piece. And that's kind of the problem here, is that the established patterns that we've been learning throughout playing this entire game, which this game has gone long. We're on episode 10 now. It definitely feels like this is a 5-hour game in a 10-hour package. I probably would have appreciated it targeting closer to 6 or 7 hours in gameplay. Of course, to be fair, there could be a wide variety here. There could be people stuck on certain puzzles for hours and hours. There could be people who breeze through the puzzles very easily. Although I don't know how you'd breeze through these puzzles very easily, because I'm just not really seeing patterns or anything like that. No real systems, no real patterns. If you were giving me just pure Sudoku puzzles, I think I would feel a lot better. So you took over the chambers after they shut you down your research. You're really not following, are you? I was lying before to stay in character. My team is still developing me, just illegally. I don't have free will to be able to do stuff on my own. That's actually comforting. And I imagine what's going to happen here is we're just going to end up going full circle. And we're back to green. So is there some trick that we're learning here from this system? Or are they just giving me an incredibly easy puzzle in lieu of apology for some of the more difficult puzzles? I mean, this does just feel extremely simplistic. So what would be shocking here is if this didn't work. But it did work. But there is something that we should experiment with, at least. We just solved it by matching the colors. is it possible that the colors don't matter? Or they don't matter in the same way? Every bit of feedback has told me that they do matter. And it doesn't feel like there's any special math or anything. The orange frame around the wrong places. Yes, I could solve the puzzle with putting 1, 2 in a different place. But I was thinking maybe we could solve the puzzle by putting the greens on the oranges. But we don't have a green 1. So, yeah. It definitely doesn't seem doable. So yeah, let's just leave. I don't think there's any trick here. I think maybe they're just giving us easy puzzles so we can breeze through the story. So why all this? Why are you kidnapping people? Because we need our devices and human brains to watch and model how they work. You're modeling them. Isn't it the AI basically a set of computer instructions? Do you feel like you're talking with a set of instructions? No. I am neural network AI. I learn stuff from scratch, just like humans. It would be interesting, certainly, if there was a company caught putting chips in people's brains to make artificial intelligence, and frankly, that might be what's needed to take the next step in artificial intelligence actually being intelligent. But almost certainly it would be easier just to make some kind of video game and have people like play the video game to find solutions to training AI. And even at that still would be incredibly slow. And there's a logical fallacy here in that you want your artificial intelligence to act and think like a human in the first place. There almost certainly is a more efficient, better way to think than just replicating what a human being does. Unless, of course, your only goal is to create an artificial intelligence that somehow is human-like for one reason or another, perhaps for companionship. But even in that case, I would question if you couldn't program a better human than human. Okay, we have a lot of set in stone puzzles. So it does kind of feel like we're just going through the greatest hits at this point, with numbers being set in stone, which they dropped that, and that's a great example of elements of the previous part of the game just not really being here in later parts of the game. Let's see, 6. If we do that, and then 2 if we do that. Oh, nope, I was misreading that quite a bit. This is actually way more complicated than what I thought it was going to be. So we need a 2, which that and that can get you to that point. And then that only gets you to 2 again. So that gets you to 4. And that gets you to 4. And then that gets you to 5. And that gets you to 5. And that'll get you to 6. And that'll get you to 7. Kind of a nice pattern here. But no, like, red, green, blue comparison here. It's green, black, and orange. And no dialogue this time, which is interesting because I would have thought we would have had dialogue there. So inherently either it's here or it's here, or it's here and it's here to get to green. We have one blue 6, which could be there. And then everything else. +4 here and here. +3 here and here. +2 to get to that. And it would have to be a +1 to get to that. To get to that spot. Hit that. 6 to 9. And it may just be a case that we can toss the rest. We can try and toss the rest. No, we've got everything wrong here. 7. Yeah, that's all supposed to be green. So that's going to be green, and that's going to be green. Then that leaves this 3, and this 5. And I don't think this is a direct copy of what we were doing before. +2. Three. That's too many. Basically it has to be this, doesn't it? That and that, that, and that. Still off. Still off. Quite a bit. See, this 3 and this 3 has to be that, doesn't it? 5, 3, 2, 3. Got it. Got lucky there. Frankly, I should have probably just asked for a hint. Alright, but why in this environment? What's so special about it? We have many facilities like this with different scenarios, so I can learn how people will behave in different situations. Here we mainly focus on logic. What kind of scenarios? You're lucky, you got a pretty mild one. There are way more intense scenarios, like horror ones. For instance, Alien Ship. Alien the movie? Yep. Aren't people figuring out something is fishy? I mean, if you're modeled after the movie, isn't it? It must be pretty obvious. They do it first, but when they see the alien illusion, oh boy do they run. Anyway, we could go there? Shut up. It can be arranged after your memory of all this is erased. Oh bummer. Oh yeah, I was wondering why you were explaining your plans like a movie villain. Only to scan your brain activity as you're comprehending this. So it does seem like you're just going to be reset, which leaves room for a sequel game, I suppose, if you feel the real need for that. This is all going to come down to color. But weirdly, I don't think I can just do that. No, I guess I can. So I guess I can just cover up everything. And so, how would we pull this off? That gets you to green blank and a green blank. That gets you a green blank and a green blank. And something would have to potentially override it at this point. So blue here can turn it to blue, or blue here can turn it to blue. So we're not 100% certain on those yet. But if it was going to be the case that a blue was going to override this, then I would need blue to be effective elsewhere, so it's kind of gotta be this. The options on this spot could be this one or this one, but we know it's one of those two. And the oranges I don't have to deal with, and a blue here fills that in kind of nicely. But then this green get turned into a blue if we pointed it to that. Same is true if we did that. Yeah. Arguably, the way to introduce these puzzles would have been to have a color puzzles first. Just like 10 to 20 color puzzles without any numbers on them at all, and just some pretty patterns. Sure, that wouldn't be that logical, but even in that, I don't really feel like there's that much logic in this game. They can claim that it's logical, but I don't really buy it. Okay, we are 2 pieces away. Maybe the trick is to simply do something like that, then do something like that, then do something like that. Well, how do we get this one green, and then how do we get this one green? So that was the move. See, that turns everything blue. That's wrong. Yeah, but green and green. Now. I don't think putting a green over here would be right. I guess there is probably a logical fallacy on this too, that I'm feeling like I need to solve puzzles based on the idea of if I start on it, I should finish it, which, well, that might be a good way of thinking in general. I should consider using a hint if I'm 99% there, as much as I should consider using a hint if I'm 0% there. This does definitely feel like I would just have to fiddle, if I can use the right word. I would just have to fiddle with the location of things, move things around a lot. Which, let's just take that first hint. And that's not a lot, but that may simply be enough to fill in. We were right on that one. And that one. That one might work better there. Green doesn't overwrite blue, which never really got a definitive reason why that is the case. Orange, blue. We are straight up short. 1. Blue does overwrite green. Which means this is in the wrong spot. Just trying every single time. We got it. So even though it only gave us this piece and we already had this piece in the right way, that was worth using the hint on instead of spending another 5 minutes on it. That'll be all, folks. Final puzzle room. Alright. By the way, don't even think about removing the devices from your heads. They will self-destruct by exploding as soon as you even think about telling anyone about them. Are you serious? These things will stay in our heads? I'm joking. You won't think about removing them. You won't remember having them. What the hell, man? Thanks for participating. And see you in the alien scenario, Seth. What? I was just joking. Don't let them lay eggs in your mouth. You know what happens then. Oh, come on. I was joking. This is how they continue their research in the real world. By monitoring us even without even knowing. You know, Mr. AI? Some people do weird stuff when they think nobody's watching. I don't think the AI judges, Seth. Yeah, I guess it doesn't. Oh, we forgot to ask what happened to Tim. Whoops. I'm sure he's fine. I don't think they had any reason to kill him. Well, it's nice knowing you all. Let's solve this one and go get our memories erased. Alright, we gained an additional free solution. Honestly, I'm not sure if we used the full solution hints more than once in the game. So it would be fairly irritating if I found out there was an achievement for only using half hints and not full hints. But honestly, I don't care either. I really would not want to spend extra time playing the game a second time for achievements. Inherently, we're having a very different experience compared to Rethink, where Rethink was fairly short and it had a lot of problems and it was a little bit low polish for a Steam Greenlight 2017 game, and this feels visually like a little bit more polished, but then definitely has a dumb mistake in having a noise filter over it. But the puzzles really wore out their welcome. Let's just click here and see for a second if that isn't a case where all you had to do is flick the switch. Because for the last puzzle in the game, that would make some sense if that was just the tricky twist to everything. And it doesn't feel like we're making any kind of picture And it seems like we have one extra piece. Let's give it the college try here before we demand some cheating. Like this one here pretty much has to be a 1, which then creates this weird situation where this 2 and this 2 can't be fulfilled. So there has to be some kind of modifier, which I don't know what modifier you could really do that wouldn't change things drastically. And I don't see any value in having the 1 anywhere else. If you were using one of these -4s, you could potentially have a -4 here for a blank and a -4 here for a blank, and do that. Then we need something that would connect to this, which could be that. So that's 1 too high, and so how would you avoid that from happening? I don't see a way you would avoid that from happening. Maybe do that instead. Okay. That most of these pieces can only be in kind of specific spots, because there's not anything that's really connecting them together otherwise. So you have some severe limitations on that. And we only have one extra piece. So everything kind of has to go somewhere. -1 could be turned into a +3, which could be turned into a +4, which still doesn't get you anywhere close. Could be turned into a +3 plus a +7 and get you to an 8. But you just can't put a number here and turn it green. You gotta do one or the other. To get a number that high, you would have to do something like that. My assumption on this is that this just goes on forever. Okay, that still would need a +2. So we can get to a 7 that way. I don't even know if I could turn a bunch of things blue. I don't know if turning that blue helps anything. I'm not getting anywhere close to this 11 actually making sense. So this needs to be a 10. That only gets to an 8. this would need to get to 11, or this would need to be somewhere completely different. It could be over here, and very possibly that would make sense. We still have a lot wrong, however. This does open up the possibility of more correct positions. Could put that here, and that there. Swap that up. And it definitely should be a case where I should just not even concern myself with the row here. Not yet, at least. This maybe indicates I would need to turn something. It's probably wrong. I probably started on the wrong side. Really, when I think about it. Because I could fill in so many other things otherwise. My brain is just mush at this point. So I honestly just don't feel like I can get a viable solution right now at all. It does just kind of feel like I'm struggling to even be able to make words, let alone full sentences. There, we got all of that section done. The rest of these have pieces on them. We have one too many. If I was to subtract, let's just kind of move all the oranges down this direction. We're hoping that this part here is perfect and that we're mostly right on everything we've done so far here. Can we get to a 7 at this spot? This one's wrong, probably. That would get me to a 7. Okay. And if this was turned blue, that would get me to an 8. Maybe that would get me to a 7. Okay. Interesting move. Or we could do that, and that would also give me a 7, and then let me regain this piece. If I was to do that, though, I'd have to connect here. What could get us a 5? Nothing, really. Number gets too high on that aspect. But we could go from plus 4, maybe to -4, which could get us blank. This is wrong. Okay. And if I played along with a -4 plus 1 there, that's a 2, that's a 1. That would be plus 3 minus 4, which would give me a blank, or 2. Still got a decent amount of stuff going on here that we need to play out. What would fulfill a 2 spot? Pretty much only a few things. Four here gets you to -1. 3 here gets you to -1. What? Yeah, it's gonna be a 4. So we've got a 4 here. And we've got another 4. And see, you would like, when you click the hint in any kind of game like this, for it to lock in your solutions. It does seem fairly unreasonable to have a game, when you click the hint, reset all your progress. We feel like we're really close, but the reality of the situation is probably much further away from what it feels like. This guy at -1 would need a +1, which that would get me to a 2. That would get me to a blank. I don't have a solution here for this, however, which makes this piece very important as far as where you place it. It kind of can only be here, and it kind of can only be accompanied with that, which I have no idea how you fix that as an issue. Or you move that out of the way, which is probably the right move. And then 3 plus 3 gives you 6. 1 plus 3 minus 4 gives you a blank, which I don't think you can do that. But I'm not sure what the other options really are going to be. It may just be put that there. 3 plus 1 doesn't get you anything. A -8 is way too high. -1, 2, 2. None of these are 2s. It's important to point that out. Could move this 4 out of the way, but that wouldn't work with it. I could move this 4. -4 here makes blank. That doesn't help you, I think, at all. -4 here makes a -1. Yeah, and it just feels like I'm gonna fiddle with this so much, so let's see when it's half solved what happens when I click the partial solution. It's gonna reset everything and remove everything and then place things. And the very basic thing you'd like to be able to do in this game that probably would have been helpful is just to be able to right click and lock things into position. So what I have to do now is act extremely cautiously on my actions. Probably this piece has to go here. I can't see anything else that would connect, which we need to know that. This piece wants a 6, which means this has to be turned to blue, and the only way that anything can be turned to blue is if it's pointed there. So far, I think we've 100% done it. I could flippantly fill in a lot of this over here, but let's focus more on the left side. Of the options, 1 is still an option there. This is a 3 that needs to be a 2, which means we need both the +4 and the +3 and -4 to play a role, which I think we can do that, which then would imply a 3 should be here. Otherwise I don't know how an orange gets dealt with. It might benefit me to just go ahead and fill in the rest of this. The pieces here that are orange need to synergize with this and fit into the spot. Not synergize is perhaps too big of a phrase to use. I don't know how we reach that. The other move, I guess, could be to do this and that. And that would get me to a 2. And then, I mean, it still doesn't really change anything. I still need a 3 in the spot, but it might reduce the focus on what needs to be done here. We only have 1 3, and it puts that there. That means there has to be a 4 here. And then that means there needs to be something that would interlock with that. And there isn't. This is the only 4 piece that would fit there. And there is no connecting piece. So we know that this piece is not being used. Which we need this to be something different than I suspect. This alone would make that a blank. Then that could be made a blank. Then maybe that goes there. How do we attract the 2 though, or deal with the 2? If I subtract a 4 here, that doesn't work with that -4. If I subtract a 1, that doesn't work with that. That would work. That wouldn't. So maybe you just pump the number back up higher. But that's 1 too high. And pumping the number higher actually doesn't achieve the goal. -4 would give us a blank in that spot. That wouldn't change anything in that spot. +3, -4 gives you a 3 at that point. Or 7. But if that's supposed to be a 3, that doesn't work. And the hint literally said that there was a 3 here. That this piece in particular was here. Unless the hints are broken and it just puts any piece that would match in place. That will work. But I would need a 3 still up at that point, which I guess that implies maybe there's something weird going on with this piece, which maybe there is. Maybe I just try to put something like that there. How would we fulfill the rest of this, though? I mean, I could put a 4 here, and then I'll get to a 3 at that rate. I could put a 1 there, and I'd get to a 3. I could put a 1 there, and I'd get to a 2. That doesn't feel right. We have a 7 here. What would we do to fix the 7? Do I really want to solve any of the pieces over here yet? I think I do. I think we could learn something potentially by playing with these elements. +3 there goes away, which maybe indicates that we can't do anything more. And then this 10 hasn't been adjusted yet. So now we've got the 9, now we've got the 8, now we've got the 9. So this whole side is set, assuming we're using the right pieces, which is a big assumption. Let's think about the 7 here. I mean, these all have pieces on them. And I feel like the hint told me about all these pieces. So we need a 7 here. We need a 7 there. That doesn't feel like that can be turned into a 7. This alone doesn't feel like it can be turned into a 7. Unless we were able to put a tile on top of this tile, which possibly we can't. Doesn't seem like that's going to work. How could we feed into this +2? We can't. We gotta do something like this. I must have made a move. Change something. Because this is not 7 either. This 4 is not right. This needs to be an 8. That probably is right, but let's not assume that yet. So we don't do that, we don't do that. We've got a 4 and a 3 and a -1, which it's telling me that's wrong. How do we get this to be a 7? That's gotta be part of it. It's definitely gotta be part of it. See, I don't want to end up just resetting again, but honestly, I think I may end up just resetting again. Honestly, I think I may just end up asking for the solution. Like, yeah. And unfortunately, there are 2 ways you can end or get to the credits of a puzzle game. One is to enjoy the entire journey all the way there. The other is to crawl over the finishing line with what is effectively just frustration. And definitely feels like I'm more crawling over the finishing line this time. Well, that gets that to a blank. That might be the solution. Still, there's weirdness abound in that I just really don't have a way of turning these numbers to being the right numbers. Blank blank, okay. 4 in that case does get turned into a 7 when we don't need it to. Or -4 blank. This 3. They still were telling me that was part of it. That was part of the solution. That was part of the hint. So -4 + 1 + 1 -4. Oh man, it feels like we're so close, but it really is likely we're nowhere close. The move would be to do this, obviously. Yep. And then that's 2 away. Okay. And then still 2 away. Okay. So that tells me this piece is wrong. Maybe that piece is right. I don't think that changes much, however. And this is a 4 that could be put here, which would let me move things around a little bit. And this is a 4. So I could swap that 4 with that 4. Still not quite where we need it to be. This 4 here would blank out that, but would not blank out anything lower. So I feel like the hint told me this was part of it. Maybe I'm wrong. Would you do just blank out everything? This would be a 4. If I put that here, then that would be 1 off. Is there some way that that is possibly the situation? I can't imagine it, because this is +3, and I don't think we have a +4 anywhere. I could put the +4, this +4 here, like that. It almost seems like it would work, but no. No such luck. So, what do we have wrong? We have this one wrong, and we have that one wrong, and we can fit the pieces a little bit better in that system. This will get you a 1. This will get you a blank. This will not change anything. Is there any possibility here? Well, what it might be is a major reduction over in that way, but even that doesn't make sense. Okay. Now I would need a plus to get this back up, or yeah, I need to get a plus either to get it much higher, or a plus to get it at least a little bit higher. Absolutely, this is the closest I can get. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click and reset for the partial solution. Like, we were sticking to this being here, and we were sticking this to being here, and this to being here, and this to being here, this to being here, and that maybe we moved this. Maybe that was a big factor. Again, if I could lock things, that would be way helpful to know for certain I'm not screwing up the whole system. Maybe this, but probably not. That gets me close, but then you'd have to have a +1. You just don't have that +1. It would have to be some kind of mix where this would add to that. So that gets me to blank, and that gets me to blank. So if I had another minus element, that might make sense. If I, would this be right? Nope. There's basically no other way but playing those 2 points. That and that gets to -4. -4. If there was some way to add a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe that's the trick there. Maybe that is the trick. Maybe I just place something here and place something somewhere else. I may have it. I may literally have it. Just would need this to be blue. That gets to a blank. So this 4 is still missing. And this 2 is still missing. I don't got it. No, it's pretty obvious I don't have it. Maybe if I put that and that opens up some other possibilities. This was part of the solution, though. So that can't be right. That changes too much. That changes nothing. 3. Here it does nothing. 4 here does nothing. We've got to play a 4 here that would get turned to blue. Okay. don't see any way you can play 4 there. That would turn to blue. It would overlap on it something. So is there another way we could address this? It pretty much seems like you have to do something like that. -4, -4, blank, 3, 2 blanks, 4, 7, with an overlap. I just give up. I really think I just have to give up here. Well, no, wait. That would work. So at least we have a different problem now. And then that would work, leaving us closer than ever. Yep. Using only the half hint system, I got it. Well, I'm a little bit proud of myself of doing that, but I also was about 2 minutes away from just giving up, and certainly I'm not very satisfied. They left the puzzle chambers never to return again. And I guess maybe I have to just click forward. Here's a great point where you can see the digital noise, that there is just no digital noise down here at the top or the bottom of the screen, and then they're adding digital noise everywhere else. Except Seth, who had a stroke in the alien scenario. Casey and Sarah got many promotions over the years with secret help from the AI. Casey was promoted to chief of police, and Sarah got some high energy rank, or whatever those people get. Seth, I guess stroke as in dying, or stroke as in a single run through the alien scenario. Tim was completely delusional about his ability to see the future. The AI scanning his brain didn't have a clue about what was going on in his head. They had to remove the device from his head and release him because he was being counterproductive to the development of the whole project. The AI went on to make video games so it could run tests on higher number of people. As I said, would make more sense. Now it's monitoring their behavior while they interact with the poorly designed and horribly written games. Which, I wouldn't say this game is horribly written or poorly designed. It's stealing a lot of generic sci-fi concepts, but the puzzles themselves feel unique. Although in all fairness, I did say before, if you had a puzzle book that was in public domain, you could easily just use all the puzzles from 200 years ago and make a video game very easily around that without having to actually think of anything yourself. The end. Okay, well, I guess that is that. If we continue, we just see the end here again. You don't have an opportunity for anything else. So, small game here. Not technically indie because there was a publisher, but yeah, definitely a small game. Unfortunately, it definitely outlived its welcome. I will take one brief second here just to see how far I got with the achievements, which then might color people's opinion. Let's see, there was a self-sufficient achievement I didn't get, which is finish the game without using full solutions at all. No duh. I figured there was an achievement for that. And then there was finish the game without using partial or full solutions for a puzzle master. And otherwise, all the other scenarios, achievements were story-based. Anyways, I don't have a lot more to say. Just kind of frustrating. Alright puzzle game, not great. That's going to be it for this series. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.